The floor is yours. We're gonna go. We're gonna go winner woof because
to be fair, my winner was slightly different.
It was slightly different. It was slightly different.
I went with Pete Carroll because I feel like Pete Carroll, like, this is the Belichick Brady thing playing out in the other direction.
Ooh.
It's like, and I imagine that Pete Carroll and Bill Belichick, they got to be the two oldest coaches in football right now.
Yes.
They probably, I don't know, call each other on the telegraph and talk about how Russell should have never left and Tom Brady should have never left. But, like, I think that the Pete Carroll victory lap hasn't started, but he's revving up his engine because it sure seems like Russell can't get right, and Pete Carroll is like succeeding with Geno. Geno's putting up big numbers and they're winning. He's doing everything that Russell would have wanted to do if he had stayed there.
I think that you're right on a lot of counts. I think from the narrative standpoint, and that is how literally everybody was just comparing Geno Smith and Russell Wilson's numbers right now, and we all know what happened. Well, I don't actually think everybody knows what happened with Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson and all of that. But people have a general idea of it. He is a winner. However, I don't think you can field the defense that the Seahawks have this season, and if you're Pete Carroll, who's a defensive coach, do any victory laps just yet in a holistic fashion. But it has got to feel good. And I think what's probably got to feel really good is a lot of people, including perhaps your girl, blamed the Seahawks almost entirely. When the Seahawks offense struggle, I would find myself, it's the offensive line, it's the play calling, it's the running the ball, it's whatever, not Russell Wilson. And I think you're now kind of isolating the variable a little bit. Now, it's a little bit unfair because there's many different points in Russell Wilson's career where he played different styles of football, so I don't think it's fair to... But over the last 2 years, I think we're seeing the same Wilson that we saw the last 2 years in Seattle, now in Denver, which makes sense. That's how time works. Whereas Geno Smith, in pretty similar circumstances, is executing this offense to perfection.
Yeah, which is, and victory lap might be the wrong word, but gloat fest, I don't think it matters that his defense is bad. None of that matters. What matters is he had a much cheaper quarterback producing the same way that Russell is. And that's what it comes down to, because if the riff was between Pete Carroll and Russell, and most of the fans or the kids in this case were on Russell's side, it has to feel really good. And when Russell left, there was less, like, even from you, like, it didn't seem like Seahawks fans were, like, upset or concerned as much as they should have been, and that could have changed. And I thought it was likely to change through the course of this year when I thought Russell and the Broncos were going to be good and the Seahawks were going to be garbage. And it's not. It's gone the other way. The Seahawks are better than the Broncos right now.
The Seahawks offense was just really unpleasant to watch the last 2 years. It looked very similar to what I was seeing from Denver, which is every now and then there'd be like an incredible magical drive and a gorgeous deep ball, but there'd be so many 3 and outs, so many sacks, not taking what was available underneath. So I think there's just something very, like, aesthetically pleasing about watching Geno Smith, like, just methodically run the Shane Waldron offense. And I think that's, by the way, why this is working so well. He is a perfect fit for what Waldron wants to do on offense, which, Shane Waldron was with the Rams as their pass game coordinator. And, there's a lot of genes similar between them and what you're seeing in Seattle, the use of the tight ends, the under center play action. It just works. I think what's been remarkable about Geno, just to pivot this from, like the who's winning the breakup kind of talk for a little bit, is last year, so I expressed some skepticism. First of all, I thought he should win the job over Drew Lock, and clearly that's been the case. I did, however, express some skepticism because last year you saw he struggled under pressure. He has been dynamite against the blitz this year. I think you saw that against a very aggressive Detroit defense. He just sees the field really well. He has all of the correct answers. There was a play, I kind of joked about this, but when he audibled to, I don't know if you noticed, you saw this, it was a 36-yard run on like third and 16. Right, yeah. That's all Geno, man. Like, that is him being a very experienced and intelligent NFL quarterback. And I don't know how this season's going to go. He's only making $1.2 million, by the way. But I really hope, even if there are some downs, and there will be downs against harder defenses, he gets credit for what he's accomplished this year.
And by credit, you mean money.
Money, yes.
I don't know where I heard this. It was a long time ago, but it stuck with me, is how restraints in certain cases or restrictions are like really good for creativity, and like how difficult it is to give someone a blank page and say, make magic. I think we talked about this a little bit when it applied to Russell Wilson, and how when you hand somebody the keys and like do whatever you want, it may not be the best for them, and not necessarily because they make the bad decisions, but sometimes when you are put in a situation where you have to work around certain parameters, you can perform better. And I think that's partially what's happening with Geno Smith, is they're like, all right, these are your areas to play. This is what we want to accomplish here, here, and here, and then these are your areas where you can do your own thing. I think like Russell would benefit from that, and Geno is certainly benefiting from that. And it's like Tom Brady, I don't know how things work in Tampa. I think the presumption is that Tom Brady just came down there and told Byron Leftwich exactly what he wants to do, and they're doing it that way. I do know that when Peyton went to Denver, that's how it happened. But when Peyton was in Indianapolis, Peyton had like pretty much complete autonomy. But that ain't for everybody, and it seems like it's not for Russell right now.